Now I shall talk to Ryan first. Ryan, obviously massive night for you guys. Have you got over the disappointment of last week?
Yeah, I think it was probably, in a way, it's been good for us. You know, it gave us a bit of a kick in the pants, and it's a real crucial meeting for us now. We have to win it, so we know what's in front of us.
How much did the bowling help unite you as a team there?
You know, we had a good laugh. We kind of relaxed, and you know, now it's the business end.
So feeling pretty confident. You've got a huge amount of support here tonight as well.
Yeah, it was always going to be a good crowd. I think you know, we've had a lot of good turnout for everyone to come down and support us. So you know, I just hope we can keep it going and make sure we win it for them.
Right, best of luck to you. Thank you, Leigh. Obviously, an amazing turnaround for you guys this season. It must be great feeling to be here tonight.
Yeah, it's surprisingly, to be honest, in the middle of the year we didn't think we'd be in this position, and it's a shame we didn't kick in a little bit earlier, because I think we could have finished top, but we're here now and it's come down to the crunch, and yeah, we're all pretty relaxed. You know, the pressure's on Peterborough, not us, and we can do the job. We're on form at the moment, so I like to say the pressure's on them, so we're getting our best shot.
And plus, first time in the playoffs. I mean, I think the last time you guys won something in Division 1 was like in '67, such a long time ago.
Yeah, there's a big buzz going on in Swindon at the moment, and the whole town's behind us and everything. It's been fantastic. We've had some great support from the local people there, and yeah, everything's buzzing. So like I say, we're all pretty relaxed really, and we're just going to go out and do our job, and we've had a good run towards the end of the season. There's no reason why we can't keep going.
Right, best of luck to you. Thank you. Back over to Calvin and Jonathan.
Thanks, so 67. I don't think Leigh Richardson was even born back then, but here they are getting prepared. And one thing I will ask before we head to Heat 1, Calvin, the temperature has dropped quite significantly in the last 2 hours, about 15 degrees or so. Strong wind, and it has dropped. Will it affect the track?
I think fundamentally it will actually stop the track drying up so much. Last week it was actually warmer and it got very dry very quickly. Tonight it should actually retain more moisture in the track, therefore actually allowing the racetrack to give a truer, a better performance for a longer period of time.
Thanks, Calvin. Who's your money on?
I went for the home side last week and it backfired on me, but I'm going to stay faithful to the home side, but it's going to be mighty close.
All right, it's going to be close. Let's hope it is. And turn our attention now to the first heat with David Norris and Tony Miller.
Yes, what a night in prospect. The Panthers at home against the Robins have been bobbing along. They've lost just one of their last 14 matches. But in 9 visits here in the Elite League, they've only won twice. The lineup for heat number 1. Leigh Adams of Swindon on the inside. They won the toss in the green helmet colour, the 9 times Australian champion. Hans Andersen of Peterborough goes in red from gate 2, the 4-man. Renat Gafurov, the new Russian champion, he goes to Swindon gate 3, and on the outside is Ulrich Lustigard. David Norris alongside me has bounded up the steps here. David, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, well excited. Like I said, just a minute ago, the track looks absolutely fantastic. We've got 2 quality teams, not a lot of home track advantage. We've had some tight speedway here tonight.
Jim Lynch watching the neutral territory. Of course, the team manager of Reading. Away goes our starting marshal, Marnie Horton. The tape to hell by Robbie Perks, our referee, but a great start the inside by Leigh Adams in the green helmet tunnel for Swindon. A bit of bumping, a boring, and down and into the fence goes Renat Gafurov there. And that was, well, he virtually went into the back of his man. And that's not the start that the Swindon Robins wanted for the new Russian champion. Leigh Adams was out front for Swindon. The action in second place. David, have a look at it, please.
Yeah, nasty one and an awful start for the Robins, especially Gafurov. Here, Hans Andersen, you'll see, just drives into him. Nothing really Hans done wrong there, just a hard first corner. Gafurov, look at him, he just gets off the bike there, he can't control it. Nasty start for the lad, but the air fence hopefully taking a bit of impact. We see Hans really missing the start there, and Gafurov just doesn't quite get across Hans Andersen. Adams there on the inside, fantastic. But here we'll see Hans just drift out there, drifting out quite hard, and he actually does drive into Renat there, and he gets out of control. Quite a nice one. See the front wheel there drifting. The lad just can't get off the bike. Nasty one there, but let's hope he gets up.
Well, our referee tonight is Robbie Perks. He's the man who'll have to make the decision on that one. We'll be keeping an eye on the exclusion lights. Robbie Perks will be watching these replays with us, and the decision he has to make, David, was Hans Andersen responsible for it or not?
Oh dear, just looking at that again, it's a nasty one. I don't think so, no. At a certain angle it looks like he does move out, but nothing, yeah, he runs into him, but I can't really see. It's got to have been all 4. But
well, that's what they can do, subject to fitness, and the referee, I think, is going to give us the decision. Our referee is Robbie Perks.
Yeah, be rerun with all 4 riders.
There's our referee, Robbie Perks. All 4 riders will take part, but the ambulance is out there for Renat Gafurov. It does mean, in fact, that if he's not fit to ride, he can be replaced by one of the reserves, and that would be, to be honest, either Mads Cornelius and Thomas Chinovsky. And Chinovsky has been in fine form for the Swindon Robins, but not the start they wanted, because Gafurov, having won that Russian championship on Saturday night, he had a 15-point maximum in Togliatti, and certainly there we see him now getting to his feet, and well, they'll be delighted with that. They do tend to bounce up, these Russians. I remember seeing a Russian in the World Final in Los Angeles a few years back, and they are made of tough stuff. And there is Renat Gafurov on his feet. They'll be absolutely delighted. I'm sure the doctor will want to see him, David, but you've had one or two bangs like that. It's not pleasant.
No, it's not, but he's a young lad, and they bounce pretty well, these, especially these Russians.
Well, let's see what Kelvin Tatum and Jonathan Green have to say about that in our studio.
Well, he almost joined us. He was right behind us here, but I will say one thing, air fence. What a difference that's made, because he just walked away effectively. I know he's a bit battered, but, you know, could have been a lot different.
Well, he wouldn't have got up. There's no question. When you go in straight like that, and David was saying it, you can see, you'll see it now. Leigh Adams makes a great one from the inside. There, Hans Andersen's in between the two riders. They clash now, bang. They hit there. That straightens up Gafurov. Gafurov now just can't get off the back of the bike, and he goes in there. The fortunate thing about it was that he just misses the bike, if you saw it there. We now see it from the other angle. Hans Andersen drifts out as Gafurov is turning. There's an impact
Any
there.
fault from Hans Andersen here?
Well, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, because Andersen's moving out as Gafurov's coming back. And there, that's the problem. He just can't get off the back of the bike. But fortunately, as they hit the air fence, he actually just misses the left-hand side of his bike. Here we see it now. And I've got to say, if that had been the original, just the wooden fence, this man would not be in this meeting now. He'd be in the ambulance going along. But look at that, how that absorbs that energy, you know, because what actually happens when you get in off the back of the bike will be accelerating as it goes towards.
You can see the wooden fence there. What kind of speed would he have been going then?
Well, it's difficult to say, but whatever it is, it's far too quick for your liking.
Well, we were standing right by it, and it did seem quick when he was coming at us.
Because of the nature of the sport, when you're accelerating into the corner, the back wheel's spinning violently to turn the bike. As you get off the back of the bike, it slows down and catches it up and actually accelerates for a few seconds. So he would have actually been accelerating as he got to the air fence. So yeah, he can be thankful that it was in place.
Is there any other device or anything used? Because I noticed obviously he still had the tie-up. When that breaks, basically that stops the engine, I know that. Yes, but it looked like he was almost stuck to it almost.
Yeah, normally you have the opportunity to actually sort of get yourself off the back of the bike. Unfortunately, he was travelling at such a speed, and he was unbalanced so much that he just wasn't able to push himself off the back of the bike, and therefore he wasn't actually pulling the kill switch, and so the bike was still running. So he's a very lucky man to be up and about, and I'm sure the Swindon Robins are relieved.
I was going to say, we really hope he's okay, because he's such a fascinating rider to watch, especially here at the showground. Last time Swindon were here, he was all over the place and really going for it down the outside.
That's exactly. He's an inspirational rider. He's a young rider. He rides. He's obviously a Russian. He's Russian, and he rides on big tracks. This is a big track tonight. I'm sure Alun Rossiter, the team manager from the Robins, would have been looking for him to get a big performance.
Well, we can just go find out. We've got Alun Rossiter in the pits, and he's with Sophie. What's the latest, Sophie?
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Well, Alun, obviously, you know, looking very concerned at the moment. Have you heard anything about his condition?
Yeah, he's all right, but you know, like I said, just trying to bite my tongue. I just don't believe that was all 4 riders. You know, hands are just blatantly barging the side of him. You know, you can see it clear as days on the replay. You can see it yourselves, but and I just can't believe you're saying that's first Ben Bunchen.
I think tonight there is going to be a lot of hard riding happening, isn't there? A lot of interesting calls going on.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you've got to call it right. He's got the TV, he's got this is what Sky's all about. That's why they're there to look at it. And he's blatantly gone in the side of him, you know. Hans is renowned for this, and, you know, he needs to start picking this up quickly.
But positively, at least he's all right, because obviously that would have been a dreadful start for you this evening.
Well, as I say, if you look at his bike here, you know, the front wheel is absolutely, totally wrecked. The whole bike is totally gone, like his best bike. And you know, like now we've got to get him out on his second one. Hopefully we'll get enough time to get his engine in for the next one after.
All right, and obviously there's an awful lot of work going on as well behind you at the moment.
It's all about teamwork, and that's what the boys are here for tonight. And we've done nothing different. They've come in big flash cars. It's a normal meeting for us tonight. We're just going out there focusing.
You're going to keep them pumped up and not let them affect them at the start?
No, it won't affect me. We'll be going back to the Abbey next week.
All right, thanks very much. Back to Calvin and Jonathan.
No question about it. He is pumped up. Alun Rossiter, the first man who ever fell on Sky Sports, in fact, all those years ago. But
no, he feels a bit of grief there, and when there was one particular angle that you've got to say that Hans Andersen actually does hit the side of him. But look at the impact there. To actually break the front wheel rim on a speedway bike, that is a massive massive impact. And you've got to say, what would that bike have looked like if the air fence hadn't absorbed an awful lot of the energy as it had gone through? And that's obviously punctured the airbag and hit the wooden fence behind it.
Yeah, and as I said, I hope Renat is fit and able to compete. He's just won the Russian Championship on Saturday night. He spent a lot of time racing in Russia this year as well as racing for Swindon. And I think actually Alun's done a very good job in harnessing those skills at the best times he can use him.
Yeah, it's not easy, you know, and it's also a long way, you know, like travelling backwards and forwards to Togliatti. That's like 1,500 kilometres east of Moscow, so it's a huge difference, massive time difference also. So, yeah, not easy commuting between those two countries, but you've got to say that Swindon have managed him very well, and he's a rider with a lot of potential, and they'll be looking for him to be a major part of their efforts this year. And
I think Sophie called it when she said there's going to be a lot of tense moments in tonight's match. We saw one team arrive by limo, and we've seen the other saying we're going back to the Abbey next week, really fired up. Heat 1 already getting a bit of controversy with the ref, thought it shouldn't be all four back, and I think this is going to be a pattern tonight, isn't it?
This is the real end of the season, isn't it? You know, this when it really matters, and both sides are right up for it, and you could sense right in that first corner there, you know, Hans Andersen missed the start, but he was desperate to get to the front. There was a collision. And you know, this is the sort of night it is. You can sense it, can't you? You can feel it. You know, the last half an hour prior to the meeting starting, you could really sense people talking to us prior to the meeting, really nervous. You know, people that look very calm, have been around Speedway a long time, are really up for this meeting and just can't wait for it to happen.
Hans Andersen also riding with a slight injury, injured his hand, and of course it's not fully thing, and he got a bit of a knock last week as well. So
didn't seem to hurt him too much last week. He still managed to come up with 16 points, so I don't think it's inhibiting his racing too much. So I'm sure Hans Andersen, as always, will be up for a big performance once again tonight.
There is Hans Andersen preparing himself for the rerun. He's very similar to Nicky Pedersen, isn't it? Doesn't care whose fault it is, he just keeps going, and in some way or another controversy seems to follow him, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is true. He's a world-class rider and has been performing very well this year in the Grand Prix and for his team, but yeah, he does seem to... He has at times got involved in incidences which are controversial, yes, for sure.
And here in the studio, Leigh Adams has just popped in to say hello. You were talking about the track before, and still feel it's going to be a really good, fair track?
Track looks really good, you know. I've been here many years, and it's probably the best it's looked for a long time, you know. Last couple of years has been pretty patchy and horrible, and it looks good, you know, no excuses.
Tough start to the meeting there with Renat hitting the fence like that. That was not ideal.
To be fair, I didn't really see it. Oh, here we go here. Just a normal Danish riding style, you know.
Very well put.
I think, you know, what can you say? You can't say any more than that, can you?
We're going to see it from another angle, but when you see it from that angle, what do you think about all four being back?
Well, you know, obviously Hans just rode straight in the side of him, didn't he, you know? He had an option, but he's just gone straight to him. Oh, that's awesome. But anyway, what can you do?
Well, he was very fortunate here, and thank God for air fences, because that was a heavy impact.
Yeah, without a doubt, you know, without air fences he would have been seriously hurt. You know, he's going to go in the rerun, so he's a tough cookie. He's had a few knocks, and he'll come back bigger and better.
Yep. Gates 1 and 3, was that important for you to start the meeting there?
Not really, no. I don't think it matters, because later on, you know, 2 and 4 in heat 13, when really we need the points, might be tough, you know. But okay. I always get the points in the bag when you can.
Okay, no question about it. That incident has pumped up Alun Rossiter, and he's fired up. How's the team feeling?
We're all up for it, you know. As I say, it's the first time we've had 7 riders for a long time, and you know, Adrian, we haven't seen him in about 2 months, so he's like a new boy into the team. And
did you recognise him?
No, we had to introduce him to all the boys. But you know, all the boys are up for it. You know, obviously it's going to be a tough meeting. These boys are up for it too, so it's going to be good.
All right, well, listen, we'll let you get back and organise yourself. As you can see, they're getting the air fence sorted out where Renat Gafurov went off and literally burst it, but he's okay, we hope, and we'll be running in the rerun of Heat 1 coming up after this short break. Don't go away.